Hi, good morning. Hi, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to begin with our state all-purpose calendar for today, March 13th, 2025. These are cases in which individuals have already had a first appearance, their case has been formally accused, and we're going to get the status of the case. You are charged with one or more misdemeanor offense. Please remember that you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say will be heard. Your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and if you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you. Yes, Deputy, did you have an announcement?
No, Your Honor, but this is position number 14, Mr. Gatson.
All right, thank you. All right, Gatson, good morning. My name is Judge Lal, and we're going to proceed with your case. You've been advised of your rights. Your case number is 25 CR 882F, accused of criminal trespass and a PI charge from February 19th of this year. Who is representing Mr. Gaskin? Mr. White? Okay. And this is going to be a plea.
It is, Judge.
All right. Mr. Gaskin, please raise your right hand. Yeah. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge? You need to say yes or no.
Yes, hey, Judge. Yes, hey.
Oh, good. Ms. Turner, what is the recommendation for Mr. Gaskin?
Yes, Judge, on count 1, the criminal trespass, that will be 12 months probation concurrent with count 2. On count 2, the PI charge, it's going to be 12 months probation or 12 months to serve 60 days, credit for time served 21 days, balance probated, to stay away from all MARTA and to complete the SDET.
Mr. White, how many more days would he have to serve in jail? Is that 6
Nine.
months?
9, Judge.
Okay. All right. Will you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
We do, Judge. We just has the probation go to non-reporting once he completes his requirements.
Any priors on the same charge, Ms. Tucker? Are you on mute?
Excuse me, there were no priors.
Okay. Any objection to non-reporting?
No objection.
All right. Mr. Gaskin, can you hear me all right?
Miss Taylor.
Okay, looks like you lost your voice, so try to speak up as loudly as possible because the
That voice change. I've a stab of salt. Pardon me.
okay. Have you consumed, all you have to say is yes or no, all right? Have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No,
Have you understood what's going on in your case?
I do understand, Your Honor. Yes,
You do understand.
yes.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
I actually found out to me.
Are you satisfied with your attorney, Mr. White? He's on the screen.
Yes, Mr. White. I'm satisfied. Me and Mr. Tom White.
Yeah.
On the phone.
Just yes or no is good.
You decide to plead guilty to these charges, you would have to spend 9 more days at the Fulton County Jail.
Yes, ma'am. I do decide to plead guilty.
If you decide to plead guilty, you would have to give up your right to a trial. You will not go back to, wait, let me finish.
Obtain the freedom of speech and custody of my grieved children.
You will not go back into a courtroom. You will not face your accuser. You will be able to challenge the evidence presented against you. And the prosecutor won't have to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes.
How do you plead to criminal trespass and the PI charge, count 2?
To trespass and PI, I plead guilty.
For the trespass, your sentence is 12 months concurrent with count 2. For count 2, your sentence is 12 months to serve 60 days. Credit for time served 21 days. You have 9 full days to serve at the Fulton County Jail. After you have done, you will be released. You must report to probation within 48 hours of being released. You can report on a Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday before 3 p.m. While on probation, you have to stay away from all MARTA property, which includes buses, trains, the stations, the bathrooms, the parking lots, and all MARTA facilities. Within 30 days of, considering the program, within 60 days of being released, you shall enroll in a FD evaluation and submit yourself to all treatment that's required. Once you've completed the evaluation and treatment, and you're up to date with your probation fees, then probation will go non-reporting. But all times, you have to stay away from all MARTA property. Thank you.
Thank you.
And next, Your Honor, we have position number 38, Mr. Smith. No decline.
McLeod's client, Ms. McLeod, good morning.
Morning, Your Honor.
And how are you proceeding with Mr. Smith?
The state has made a plea offer which my client is not interested in accepting. So I'll be filing a waiver of arraignment on his behalf, and we would like for him to be placed on the next available trial calendar.
All right. Mr. Smith, you've been charged with trespass, obstruction of an officer, terroristic threats and acts, and disorderly conduct in case 25 CR 001069C. You have been advised of your rights. Your attorney is Ms. McLeod, and you are entering a not guilty plea pursuant to your waiver of arraignment, and your case is going to be further noticed for trial. Will be available on the next available jail jury trial, and that concludes your case. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Next, Your Honor, we can go to position number 40 through 42, Mr. Tate.
All right, good morning. This is Jonathan Tate. He's got 2 matters before the court. First one is case 23 CR 4081J, in which he's accused of simple battery family violence from September 27, 2021. Second matter is case 25 CR 1167J, in which he's accused of 3 counts of simple battery family violence from August 22nd, 2024. Mr. Tate, you've been advised of your rights. Your attorney is Mr. Shatay. May I place you under oath for the plea? You solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge. You need to say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge. On position 40, he's pleading to simple battery family violence with the terms 12 months to serve, credit for time served 86 days, and to have no further contact with Alexis Smith. On position 40, he's pleading to simple battery family violence. It's going to be 12 months probation consecutive, credit for time served 8 days on this case. To complete the family violence intervention program, complete 80 hours of community service, to have no further contact with Alexis Smith, and to stay away from the 2423 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, apartment 1216. The rest of the simple battery charges on position 41 will merge, and then position 42, his failure to appear, will be null prost.
For position number 40, so it would be 12 months. How many days does he serve?
He's served 86 so far.
So we're giving him credit for the 86 days then.
Correct.
All right. Mr. Shatay, does your client accept these terms, and do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
cannot be complete.
Your Honor, I emailed the prosecutor's office yesterday because I wasn't sure about what the offer was for the first case. It just had 12 months served with credit for 86 days. So is that a 12-month sentence with 86
Sounds like,
days?
yeah, it sounds like it's a time served. It's 12 months to serve 86 days credit for time.
No, it's 12 months to serve. He will get credit for 86 days. So he still has to serve the rest of that 12 months.
Okay, I need to confer with my client then because my understanding was this was supposed to be a time served and I didn't get an answer yesterday. So could I have some time to speak with my client, Your Honor?
So just to clarify, Ms. Tucker, I guess I was under a different impression too. So it's 12 months to serve 12 months, credit for time served 86 days. And
Yes.
once 12 months are over, then he will be on probation for a consent for the second case, which will be served consecutively, correct?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Chate, are you on the same page now?
Okay.
All right,
Yeah, I need to tell my client about this.
no problem. Please mute courtroom 2.
Okay, Your Honor, after having conferred with my client, this is still going to be a negotiated plea for both cases.
All right, so Mr. Chai, do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue and ID for both cases?
Yes, I stipulate for both cases, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Tate, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No.
And have you understood what's going on in both your cases? I can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your legal services with regards to both cases?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you entering this plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
You decide to plead guilty to the charges of simple battery family violence from September 27, 2021 and 1 count of simple battery family violence from August 22nd, 2024. You will have to give up your right to a trial before a judge or a jury in both cases. You will not get the opportunity to confront your accuser. You will not get the chance to challenge the evidence brought against you or present any defenses, arguments, and mitigating factors with the assistance of counsel. The prosecutor will not have to prove all these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt, and there's no right to an appeal once I issue a sentence. Are you prepared to waive these rights? I need a verbal response.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to simple battery family violence? In
Yes.
23 CR 4081J.
Yes.
Repeat.
Yes.
And how do you plead to simple battery family violence from August 22nd of last year? I'm sorry, Mr. Tate, I didn't hear you.
Yes.
The sentence for position 40 is going to be 12 months to serve with a credit of 86 days. And while you are incarcerated for that time, you are to have no contact with Alexis Smith, which includes no contact in person, through email, phone, or even through a third party. For the second case, 25 CR 1167J, your sentence will be 12 months and it will be served consecutive and it will be served on probation once you're released after serving your your sentence from the first case. While on probation, you will continue to have no contact with Alexis Smith. You're to enroll in a domestic violence intervention program within 60 days of being released. You're also to stay away from 2423 Martin Luther King Drive in Atlanta, Georgia, the entire complex, including apartment 1216. You are also to complete 80 hours of voluntary community service, and the community service can be done at any nonprofit agency that's not a church and not a school, and you must do a minimum of 5 hours per month. That concludes your sentence. Thank you.
Wait. Probation.
Hmm?
Description.
It's a negotiation.
Next, Your Honor, we have position number 32, Mr. Rucker.
And Mr. Chute, how are we proceeding with Mr. Rucker?
This is going to be a negotiated plea, Your Honor.
All right. This is Montori Rucker, accused of battery family violence from January 5th of this year. And the case number is 25 CR 922E. Do we add additional charge to this one, Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge, there's gonna be a cruelty in the third charge as well.
Has this already been added as an accusation?
Yes.
So, Mr. Rucker, it appears that there's an additional charge of cruelty in the third degree that was accused by the prosecutor in this case. Mr. Rucker, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Mr. Chute. Mr. Chute, is your client aware that the additional charge had been added?
He's aware, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Rucker, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Tucker, what's the recommendation?
Yes, Judge. On the battery family violence, it's gonna be 12 months to serve 42 days, credit for time served 21 days, balance probated, to complete the family violence intervention program, to have no further contact with Jalecia Slaughter. On the cruelty charge, it's gonna be 12 months, serve 42 days, credit for time served 21 days, balance probated with a parenting course.
Mr. Shatay, does your client accept the terms and do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue and ID?
Stipulate, Your Honor, he accepts the terms and I just ask that he go on non-reporting status once he completes the conditions.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right. Mr. Rucker, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
Have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you satisfied with your legal services? Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Huh?
Are you satisfied?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Are you entering this guilty plea to these two charges freely, willingly, and knowingly?
I plead guilty.
Okay. So listen to my question.
Huh.
If you decide to plead guilty,
Hmm.
are you doing so of your own free will and knowing what is going on in this case?
Yeah.
You need to say yes or no. Are you doing this on your own free will?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, has your attorney explained to you that if you plead guilty, you will not have a trial? You will not go back to a courtroom. You will not face your accuser. The prosecutor will not have to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Just a moment, Your Honor, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of battery, family violence, and one count of cruelty in the third degree?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead?
Oh, guilty.
All right, Mr. Rucker, I accept your guilty plea. For the battery, family violence, your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 42 days. Credit for time served 21 days. Your jail time is concluded, and if you have no other cases holding you at the jail, you'll be released within 24 hours. On Monday, and that's going to be March 17th, I believe. Yeah. On Monday, March 17th, before 3 p.m., you must report to Fulton County Probation Office. The office is located at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. Do you understand, sir?
Your Honor, my client is currently serving a sentence here at the jail, so he won't be able to go on.
Okay, so he does have another hold. Okay. So once you have completed all your obligations at the jail, you will report to the Fulton County Probation within 48 hours of being released. And you can report on any Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday before 3 p.m. Understood? Yes, sir?
Yes, ma'am. I need the address to get there. 'Cause I don't know how.
Once you release, you'll get the information in your paperwork, but the address is 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta.
Okay.
Okay. While you're on probation, you will complete a domestic violence intervention program. Your probation officer will give you a list of schools where this program is offered, and you must enroll in that program within 60 days of being released. At all times, you're to have no further contact with Jalecia Slaughter. For the cruelty charge, it'll be 12 months to serve 42 days, credit for time served 21 days, balance probated, and you'll be required to do a parenting class while you're on probation. If you finish the domestic violence classes and you finish the parenting course and you're up to date with your probation fees, then your probation will be non-reporting. At all times, you cannot have any communication at all with Jalecia Slaughter. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I see in the room. Next, Your Honor, we can go to position 39, my mistake, 39, Mr. Smith.
Okay. This is Wayne Bernard Smith, case number 25 CR 1070H, accused of public drunk, willful obstruction of an law enforcement officer, and simple battery at a public transit vehicle or station from February 27th of this year. Mr. Smith, you've been advised of your rights. Your attorney is Mr. Shatay. May I place you under oath for the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge. On the public drunk charge, it's going to be 12 months to serve 28 days, credit for time served 14 days, balance probated to complete an alcohol, drug, and evaluation and any recommended treatment, and to stay away from MARTA. On the obstruction, it'll be 12 months, served 28 days, credit for time served 14 days, balance suspended with a $300 suspended fine. And on the simple battery, it's going to be 12 months to serve 28 days, credit for time served 14 days, balance probated with 40 hours of community service.
Mr. Shatay, does your client accept the terms, and do you so stipulate?
I so stipulate, Your Honor, he accepts the terms, and I just ask that he go to non-reporting status once he completes the conditions.
How many cycles does he have? Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge, one moment. He has 39 cycles.
Sorry, Mr. Shatay, I'm trying to get Odyssey to speed up on this. Okay. I don't have a problem with non-reporting as long as he completes the program and he stays away from all MARTA property, even while on non-reporting basis. But if he gets arrested again while he's on non-reporting probation, he will have to serve out the rest of the time in jail. Is that acceptable?
That's acceptable, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Smith, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, Your Honor.
And have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you satisfied with your legal services?
Yes.
If you decide to plead guilty to these charges, you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial. You will not go back to a courtroom to face your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, and the prosecutor won't have to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to public drunk, willful obstruction of an officer, and simple battery at a public transit vehicle or station?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if you have no other holds, then you'll be placed on probation. Your sentence for the public drunk is 12 months to serve 28 days. Credit for time served 14 days. You'll report to probation on Monday, March 17th before 3 p.m. You are to stay away from all model property while you are on active and non-reporting probation, which includes the location at 30 Alabama Street and all other model buses, stations, and trains. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
You are to enroll in an alcohol and drug evaluation within 30 days of being released with any healthcare provider, including 10 Park Place or Grady. And you must submit yourself to any treatment or counseling that's required. While you're on probation, you're not to consume any alcoholic beverages and no illegal drugs. For the willful obstruction, your sentence is 12 months to serve 28 days, credit for time served 14 days. For that charge, your sentence will be suspended and the $300 fine is suspended. For the simple battery at a public transit station, your sentence is 12 months to serve 28 days, credit for time served 14 days. And that will continue on probation as well, where you'll be required to also do 40 hours of community service at any nonprofit agency. And you must begin your community service with a minimum completion of 5 hours per month. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Once you have completed the alcohol and drug evaluation and treatment, and you have completed the 40 hours community service, and you are up to date with your probation fees, then your probation will be non-reporting, although you'll still be required to stay away from all model property. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, I've seen that.
I have Mr. Myron Say, I'm not sure his position on that.
Give me your last name again.
Say, SEAY.
All right. Is that on our add-on?
Come on, Wilson. Come on.
Position 33, Judge.
Okay, all right, thank you.
No, I said call me. Okay.
That's what I just said.
Oh, if you could mute, please, for a minute. Thank you. Thank you. Myron Shea is accused of criminal trespass from February 28, 2025, case number 25 CR 1068E. Mr. Shea, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and representing you this morning is going to be Mr. Chate. Do you see your attorney on the screen?
Good morning, Judge. Yes, ma'am, I see the attorney.
All right, thank you. And this is going to be a plea. So, Mr. Shea, please raise your right hand. For purposes of the plea, do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Tucker, what's the recommendation for Mr. Myron Shea?
Yes, Judge, he'll be pleading to one count of criminal trespass with the terms 12 months to serve 26 days, credit for time served 13 days, balance suspended, but to stay away from the Wesley on the Beltline apartments at 370 Northside Drive in Atlanta.
Mr. Chate, do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
I stipulate, Your Honor.
Right. Who is hosting this? Can you remove the iPhone that has the individual driving? Remove them completely from the Zoom.
It looks like that. I'm sorry, Judge. It looks like that's the conflict, Mr.
Murphy?
Yes.
All right, then switch off the video at least. Sorry. Oh, sorry, Mr. Murphy. All right, but you need you gotta. All right, thank you. I'm so sorry, Mr. Shea. Your attorney has stipulated to a factual basis, venue, and ID. I have to ask you some questions for this plea. Do you have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you entering this plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, ma'am.
If you do so, you would have to give up your right to a trial. You would not be able to go back to court, face your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, and the prosecutor won't have to prove the charge beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of criminal trespass at the Wesley on the Beltline Apartments?
Guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 26 days, credit for time served 13 days, balance suspended. If you have no other cases holding you at the jail, you should be released within 24 hours. But you are noticed right now that you cannot return to the particular apartment complex at 370 Northside Drive in Atlanta, Georgia. This is your notice that you cannot return to the entire apartment complex. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, next case. Mr. Chate, are we good?
I believe it's Mr. Griffin, 16.
Your Honor, we can go to position number 16, Mr. Griffin. I didn't know you guys were done with the other thing.
All right. I think ACDC is also ready, so let me know when I can go to them.
Okay.
Mr. Chate, how are we proceeding, Mr. Griffin?
We're proceeding with the negotiation, Your Honor.
All right. This is Melvin Griffin, accused of willful obstruction of an officer from February 26th of this year, case 25 CR 1015E. Griffin, you've been advised of your rights. Your attorney is Mr. Chate. May I place you under oath for the plea? Other right hand. Solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge. Thank you. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge. He's pleading to one count of obstruction with the terms 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance probated with a $300 fine.
Yeah, it didn't say balance probated on the offer sheet. I just have the $300 fine.
Okay, 12 months.
Well, he'll need to be on probation to pay the fine.
Okay.
Unless he wants to pay it on Monday and then a probation will terminate.
All right, can I confer with my client on this, Your Honor?
What position is this?
16.
All right, my client accepts the terms, Your Honor, but once he pays the $300 fine, I ask that he go to non-reporting status.
I'll terminate probation.
No objection.
All right. All right, Mr. Griffin, if you, and so do you stipulate, Mr. Chate?
I stipulate, Your Honor, yes.
Mr. Griffin, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently? And have you understood what's going on in your case? And are you satisfied with your attorney? If you decide to plead guilty, you would have to waive your right to a trial. You will not go back to a court to face your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, be able to present your arguments and defenses through your counsel, and the state won't have to prove the charge beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights? One count of willful obstruction of an officer.
You want to wait?
Repeat.
Okay.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance probated. You will report to Fulton County Probation on Monday, March 17th before 3 p.m. While on probation, you will need to pay a $300 fine. Once your fine is paid off, your probation will terminate. I will waive your probation fee for the month of March, but as soon as you pay it, that will be your only obligation plus any court costs or surcharges. All right? The sooner you pay it off, the more you'll save in probation fees. Thank you.
You have a seat in the third row. Next, Your Honor, we can go to position number 11, Mr. Calloway.
Morning, guys.
Yeah.
This is Mr. Daryl Calloway, case number 25 CR 1057Y. Mr. Calloway is accused of criminal trespass from February 28th, 2025. All right. And Mr. Calloway, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is Mr. White. And this is going to be a non-negotiated plea. Is it still a non-negotiated matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Calloway, may I place you under oath for purposes of the plea? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Ma'am, I do, ma'am.
All right. So the prosecutor, you can put your hand up. The prosecutor is going to give me a recommendation for a sentence, and then your attorney will give me an alternative recommendation. I will consider both recommendations and tell you my decision. If you're not happy with my decision, you can plead not guilty and the case will further notice for trial. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge, the state is recommending 12 months to serve 24 days, credit for time served 12 days, balance probated, 40 hours of community service, and to stay away from the 24-hour food mart located at 5 Cleveland Avenue in Atlanta. So we're only asking for 40 hours community service here. This defendant has 122 cycles, the most I have ever seen. He just was convicted in January 6th of this year for criminal trespass. He has a previous conviction from this same location out of case number 24 CR 007-826F. And in the report, it lists at least 3 times that he was arrested from this same location. So I believe that asking for 40 hours community service is very reasonable in this case. You know, he just refuses to learn his lesson. You've heard multiple criminal trespasses at the same location. So we're asking for that 12 months, served 24 days, credit for time served 12 days, balance probated, 40 hours community service, and to stay away.
Mr. White?
I'm serious.
Your Honor, we're just asking to exclude the 40 hours of community service. He is employed as a landscaper 5 to 6 days a week. Additionally, he has sole custody of his children that he provides for, and reporting to probation and doing the community service would be a hardship. I'm not sure. I stress to him the extreme necessity that he stay away from the location. He assures me that he will. But I'm not sure that 40 community service is going to matter one way or the other.
I can amend it to a $400 fine. He won't have to stress himself out with community service. Once he pays off the fine, probation will be non-reporting as long as he stays away from the location. And he can go back to landscaping and his family.
Mr. Calloway?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear what the judge said? Instead of community service, you can pay a $400 fine, but you'd still have to be on probation until that got paid.
May I speak?
I'm not sure it's a good idea. Maybe we should talk first.
Okay. We'll be glad to, Deputy, Mr. Calloway will need to speak to Mr. White. Can you arrange for a phone conversation?
Yes, Your Honor, I'll give Mr. White a call.
There you go. Thank you.
I have Mr. Patrick Green up here in medical. I'm not sure the position number.
Did you say Paget?
Patrick Green.
Green. Okay, and that would be position 15. Oh, that's Mr. White's client. He's talking to Mr. Calloway.
Okay.
He's not on the phone right now.
Okay, Mr. White, can you address Mr. Green before you take your phone call?
Certainly, Judge.
Thank you. Patrick Green is accused of criminal trespass from February 26th. And Mr. Green, your case number is 25 CR 1016F. Can you hear me, Mr. Green?
I can hear you.
All right. Mr. Green, you have a right to remain silent about the facts of the case. Anything you choose to say, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and representing you is Mr. Tom White. And this is going to be a plea. So, Mr. Green, if you please raise your right hand for the plea. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yeah.
Thank you. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge. This is gonna be 12 months to serve 6 days, credit for time served 3 days, balance suspended with a stay away from the William Booth Towers located at 1125 Ponce de Leon Avenue in Atlanta.
Mr. White, does your client accept these terms, and do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Green, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently? Mr. Green,
Yes.
have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No.
Have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes.
And are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes.
If you decide to plead guilty to this charge, you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial. You will not go back to a courtroom to face your accuser in front of a judge and a jury. You will not be able to challenge the evidence faced against you. You will not be able to present your arguments and defenses, and the prosecutor won't have to prove the charge beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yeah.
How do you plead to one count of criminal trespass at the William Booth Towers?
Yes.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 6 days, credit for time served 3 days, balance suspended. You shall be released within 24 hours unless you have any other cases holding you. Once released, please do not return to the location at 1125 Ponce de Leon Avenue in Northeast Atlanta, which is the William Booth Towers. Otherwise, you will be arrested again. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. White, if you want to mute your screen, yeah, if you want to mute your screen as well, in case you want the phone call. Okay. Courtroom 2, who do we have?
Position number 29, Mr. Mohammed.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Ms. Patel. All right, sir. Your client is Sadruddin Dean Mohammed, case number 25 CR 1014E, accused of criminal trespass at the Lock Law Firm at 750 Piedmont Avenue. Mr. Mohammed, you have been advised of your right to remain silent. Anything you say, your statements, can be used against you. You have a right to appointed counsel if you cannot afford one, and Mr. Bartel is your attorney. This is going to be a plea. May I place you under oath? If you please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Repeat.
Yes.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge. He's going to be pleading to one count of criminal trespass with the terms 12 months to serve 32 days, credit for time served 16 days, balance probated, to complete 40 hours of community service, and to stay away from the Lock Law Firm at 750 Piedmont Ave in Atlanta.
Mr. Bartel, does your client accept the terms, and do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
We do so stipulate, Your Honor. He is going to accept the state's offer. We would just ask the court, since this is a trespass case, and I understand that there is the additional requirement of the 40 hours of community service, we would ask the court to consider waiving the first month's probation fees. Mr. Mohammed indicated he believed he could do that 40 hours within the first month. And we would just ask that probation terminate once he has done the 40 hours of community service.
I can waive the probation fees for the month of March and April, and that is if he's completed, and if he completes the 40 hours within that time frame, then his probation will be non-reporting, not terminated, and he'll need to stay away from the Lock Law Firm.
Okay, he accepts that, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Mohammed, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No,
And have you understood what's going on in your case?
yes,
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
yes,
If you decide to plead guilty to the criminal trespass charge, you would have to give up your right to a trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not go back to a courtroom to face your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you. Your attorney won't be able to present your arguments, defenses, and mitigating factors, and the prosecutor won't have to prove the charge beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
yes.
How do you plead to one count of criminal trespass?
Oh, guilty,
Repeat.
guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 32 days, credit for time served 16 days, balance probated. You will report to the Fulton County Probation Office on Monday, March 17, before 3 p.m. I will waive your probation fees for March and April. And while on probation, you're to complete 40 hours of voluntary community service at any 501c nonprofit agency. It cannot be a church and it cannot be a school, but it can be any other nonprofit agency such as Goodwill, Salvation Army, Animal Rescue, Atlanta Food Bank, just to name a few. Once you have completed your 40 hours of community service, then your probation will be non-reporting. If you do not complete your conditions after by the end of April 2025, you will start paying probation fees from May 1st, 2025 onwards. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm gonna do this. You hear me?
I have Mr. Jim Borden. I'm not sure the position number.
All right. Mr. Did you say Jordan?
Bowden.
Boarding.
Bowden, Jim Bowden. You're saying it wrong too.
Mr. Snee, Judge.
All right, position number 8. All right. Mr. White, are we ready with Mr. Calloway?
No, we haven't spoken yet, Judge.
All right. This is Jim Bowden, Boaden, case 25 CR 1009Y. Mr. Bowden is accused of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer under, in this case, from February 25th of this year. Mr. Bowden, you have a right to remain silent about the facts of your case. Anything you say during this virtual proceeding, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and Mr. White is your appointed counsel. May I place you under oath for the plea? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge, he'll be pleading to one count of obstruction with the terms 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance probated with a $300 fine.
Mr. White, does your client accept these terms and do you so stipulate?
We do, Your Honor. We just ask the probation terminate once he pays his fine.
Any objection, Ms. Tucker?
No objection.
Your Honor. I didn't know he was trying to stop me, ma'am. I didn't have no idea he was trying to stop me. The officer.
Mr. Bowden,
Yes, sir.
do you want to accept the plea offer?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, ma'am. I mean, if I could be
Okay.
here today,
Mr.
I'd
Bowden,
really appreciate it. ma'am.
Mr. Bowden, if you want to accept this plea offer, then you do not need any kind of explanation.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Bowden, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
Have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
If you decide to plead guilty to this charge, you would have to give up your right to go back to court to challenge this charge in a court of law in front of a judge or a jury. You will not be able to confront your accuser. You will not be able to challenge the evidence brought against you. Your attorney won't be able to present your arguments, your defenses, your excuses, your any other claims that you may have. And the prosecutor won't have to prove the charge beyond a reasonable doubt. This will be a conviction on your record if you decide to plead guilty. Are you prepared to waive these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How
Yes,
do you
ma'am.
plead to one count of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days. The rest of it will be on probation. You report to probation on Monday, March 17th before 3 p.m. While you're on probation, you have to pay a $300 fine. I will waive your probation fees for March and April. If you pay your fine before the end of April, your probation will terminate and you won't have to pay any probation fees. But if you do not pay your fine by the end of April, you will start paying probation fees from May 1st, 2025 onwards. But your probation will terminate once your fine and fees are all paid up.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Next, Your Honor, we have position number,
That's actually,
it's the
Your Honor.
competency calendar.
Yeah, this is Mr. Bibbs, Your Honor. He is number 2 and 3 on the 11 a.m. calendar. But I've met with Mr. Bibbs and spoken with him. I've also reviewed the records that we were received when these cases first arose. And I'm satisfied that we're able to go ahead with the plea. I had sent an email out trying to work out something with the state. I didn't get a reply back from Ms. Falk, but I think given the nature of the allegations in both of these cases and the amount of time that Mr. Bibbs has served, we were going to ask the court for just a time served sentence in lieu of anything else. On number 2, Judge, disorderly conduct and obstruction, he served a total of 266 days by my count. Number 3, on the 11 a.m. calendar, it's
They're both FTA, the FTAs, so they would be null pros if the plea moves forward.
Correct. And on number 3, on the underlying case, it's trespass and loitering at the Walmart that's no longer there on Howell Mill. So given all that, Judge, we would just ask for a time served sentence on both.
Ms. Tucker, has an offer been conveyed?
No, we were not aware that he was competent now, but I'm
sorry,
looking into.
Yeah, I sent an email to Ms. Falk. I didn't know you were going to be handling this.
Yes, Ms. Falk is out sick today. So just give me one moment.
Can we address him once Ms. Tucker gets up to speed on the plea offer? Because I don't know what the plea offer is.
Well, I had made a proposal to the state. I didn't get any confirmation.
Oh, okay.
That was to Ms. Falk, not Ms. Tucker. So, yeah, if you want to come back to it, Judge, that would work.
I'm sure Ms. Tucker, if competency is no longer an issue, I'm sure Ms. Tucker can give us a recommendation for these 2 cases.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Bartel.
Thank you, Judge. We'll come back to you.
All right, ACDC, who do we have, please?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Before you is position 25 and 26, Ms. Lurie, L-U-R-R-Y.
Right. I'm assuming Mr. White, let me know when you're ready for the Callaway case. But let's address Charlicia Lurie.
Judge, we're ready whenever.
Oh, okay, thank you. Miss Charlicia Lurie, this is an announcement. Can you hear me all right?
Speak up. Yes.
Okay, this is an announcement for you as well as for the other ladies seated behind you. My name is Judge Lal. We are going to be addressing each of your cases. So please remember that you all have a right to remain silent about the facts of the case. Anything you say during this virtual proceeding, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you. Ms. Lurie, on position 25, is accused of criminal trespass from August 31st, 2024, in case number 24 CR 61978. She also has a bench warrant for failure to appear, 25 FTA 000451. With regards to position 25 and 26, this is going to be a plea. Ms. Lurie, your attorney is Ms. Kim. May I place you under oath for the plea? Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge? You need to speak up. Okay. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge. In position 25, she'll be pleading to 1 count of criminal trespass with the terms 12 months, to serve 28 days, credit for time served 14 days, balance suspended, but to stay away from IHOP at 10686 Alpharetta Highway in Roswell. Position 26 at FTA will be null prost.
Ms. Kim, does your client accept the terms and do you so stipulate?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Lurie, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No.
Okay. And have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes,
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
yes,
And has it been explained to you that if you decide to plead guilty to this charge, you would have to give up your right to a trial in front of a judge or a jury? You will not go back to a courtroom. You will not face your accusers. You will not be able to review the evidence against you. And your attorney won't be able to present any defenses and arguments you may have. Also, the state won't have to prove the charge beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
am I being released?
If you have no other holds and I accept your plea, then you will be released within 24 hours. But my question to you now is not whether you're going to be released, whether you want to give up your constitutional rights to a trial.
Yes.
Did you understand the rights that I just read to you?
Yes.
How do you plead to criminal trespass?
Guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 28 days, credit for time served 14 days, balance suspended. As I said, if you have no other cases holding you at the jail, you'll be released within 24 hours. You shall not return to the IHOP restaurant at 10680 Alpharetta Highway in Roswell, Georgia. If you return to that restaurant, you will be arrested again. Any questions?
No.
Thank you.
I have nothing to disclose.
The case is, you have no other holds, your bench warrant will be dismissed.
Thank you.
This is position number 11, Mr. Callaway.
Mr. White, how would your client like to proceed? The last thing we left off in Mr. Darrell Callaway's case, 25.
Judge-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
He would just take the state's recommendation.
All right, 40 hours of community service.
That's correct.
All right. Mr. And do you so stipulate, Mr. White?
We do.
This is position 11. Mr. Callaway, please listen to my questions, and if you agree with them or give me a yes or no response. If you have any questions, you can speak with your attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
I haven't, ma'am.
Have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, ma'am, I think so, ma'am.
You think so or you know so?
Yes, ma'am, I believe I know so.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
I am, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
You still think so? Or you know so?
He said, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need to speak up, Mr. Callaway.
I apologize, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am, I am, ma'am.
And if you decide to plead guilty to criminal trespass at the 24-hour food mart on Cleveland Avenue, you would have to give up your right to a trial. You will not go back to a courtroom. You will not have the assistance of counsel. to face your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, be able to present your arguments and defenses, and the prosecutor won't have to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Ma'am, I am, ma'am. Thank you.
Speak up, please.
I apologize. Ma'am, I am, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of criminal trespass?
Guilty, ma'am.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 24 days, credit for time served 12 days. If you have no other cases holding you, you will be released within 24 hours.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Well, I'm not done.
I apologize, ma'am.
On Monday, March 17th, before 3 p.m., you must report to the Fulton County Probation Office. While you are on probation, you will do 40 hours of community service at any nonprofit agency that's not a church and not a school. You must do a minimum of 5 hours per month, but you must complete all 40 hours. I will waive your probation fees for the months of March and April, but then you will start paying probation fees from May 1st, 2025, if your 40 hours of community service are not completed. Do you understand, sir?
Ma'am, I do, ma'am. Excuse me? Hello?
Yes?
He said, yes, ma'am, I do.
All right.
And I think he heard something else.
And you are to stay 200 yards away from the 24-hour Food Mart store at 5 Cleveland Avenue in Southeast Atlanta. If you return to that location, you will be arrested again, and your probation in this case will be revoked, and you will spend the rest of the year in jail for this case. Do you understand?
Excuse me, ma'am?
If you return to the 24-hour food, you will be arrested again,
Yes, ma'am.
and I will revoke your probation in this case. I will cancel your probation and you end up in jail for the rest of the year.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you have to do?
Stay away from it, the place.
Stay away from the 24-hour Food Mart. Do not return to that location. And what else do you have to do?
Community service,
How many hours?
40.
Okay, thank you. His probation may be non-reporting once he's completed the 40 hours and up to date with his. Thank you.
So that's.
All right. Courtroom 2, did you have another case? All right.
No, Your Honor.
All right, please mute courtroom 2.
Please,
Yeah.
Sir.
Second round.
Grace, could we mute courtroom 2, please? Thank you. ACDC, Deputy Milton, who do we have?
Position 37, Ms. Shelton.
Your Honor, this is a negotiated plea.
Yes, thank you. Latrice Shelton, in position 37, is accused of criminal trespass.
And Judge, we did add a theft by shoplifting charge.
Yeah, I noticed that. In case number 25 CR 001639H. Ms. Latrice Shelton, you've been advised of your rights. Your attorney is Ms. Kim. There are 2 charges pending against you in this case, criminal trespass and theft by shoplifting. You have been, I understand this is going to be a plea. Ms. Shelton, if you'd like to raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge. On the criminal trespass, that'll be 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance suspended with a stay away from the Walmart at 4735 State Route 138 in Union City. On the theft by shoplifting, it'll be 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance probated with the anti-theft course and a $250 fine.
Ms. Kim, does your client accept the terms and do you so stipulate?
Yes, we do, Your Honor. We were wondering if the probation can be terminated upon completion of anti-theft course and a fine.
I'll do non-reporting.
Okay, can she also get like 2 months probation fee waived?
March and April.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Shelton, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
Have you understood what's going on in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
If you decide to plead guilty to criminal trespass and theft by shoplifting, you would have to give up your right to a trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not go back to a courtroom to face your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you. The prosecutor won't have to prove the charges beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to criminal trespass and theft by shoplifting?
Guilty.
For the criminal trespass, there's going to be 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance suspended, and you're required to stay away from the Walmart at 4735 State Route 138 in Union City. For the shoplifting charge, you'll be on probation to 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days. You will report to probation on Monday, March 17th before 3 p.m. While you're on probation, you will pay a $250 fine with a minimum payment of $25 per month. And within 60 days, you must enroll and complete an anti-theft class. Your probation fees are waived for March or April. And if you're not done with your conditions, you will start paying probation fees from May 1st onwards. Your probation will be non-reporting as long as your conditions and your probation fees and fines are paid up to date. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next is position 13, Ms. Dutton.
This is conflict case.
Okay, thank you. This is Yesenia Dutton, accused of criminal trespass and willful obstruction of an officer from February 27th of this year, case 25 CR 1042J. Ms. Dutton, you've been advised of your rights and your attorney is Ms. Maureen McLeod. Ms. McLeod, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, is it possible for us to address this case in a breakout room?
Sure.
Thank you.
Would you need your client in there?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Grace, if you could place Ms. Tucker and Ms. McLeod and myself in a breakout.
Yes, ma'am.
ACDC? All right, Debbie Milton, did you have another case at ACDC? Debbie
Yes.
Milton,
Position 2728.
is that at ACDC? Okay. Miss McLeod needs to speak to her client, Yesnia Dutton. Is there a way that we can do it via phone?
Yes, Judge.
All right, please, thank you, and I'll take 20, what was it, 27 and 28?
And Your Honor, I have a question. What are we doing with Mr. Bibbs?
Mr. Bibb, we're waiting for an offer to be conveyed to Mr. Bartel, and then if the offer is accepted, we're gonna do a plea this morning.
Okay.
Your Honor, 27,
Judge.
28, I have an announcement for Ms. Martin. It will be waiver of arraignment and not guilty.
No, I think I want to change my mind.
Huh?
I
Okay,
think I want to change my
talk
mind.
to you again, please. That was not what you told me, so.
We, let's go ahead and place courtroom 2 and ACDC into a breakout.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Okay, Judge.
No need to apologize. No need to apologize.
Judge.
Yep. Miss Murphy, yes, sir. What's going on with you?
Judge, I've got position 31.
31, okay.
And Judge, I was just recently appointed, so I was hoping to get that reset till next Thursday. And he actually has something with Judge Roth tomorrow, so I'll be in Roth's courtroom, but I'm just hoping to reset position 31 till Thursday at 9.
Okay, this is William Robinson.
That's correct.
Have
Yes.
you made contact with William Robinson?
Not at all, Judge. I just got it yesterday.
Okay, so, yeah, I'll be glad to reset it to next Thursday, and that would be the 20th.
That'll be the 20th at 9. Thank you, Judge.
Yeah.
That's all I
Do you
have.
have the offer from the state?
I do.
You do?
Yeah, I got the, and considering it's one I'm gonna have to talk to the client about
Okay.
at length, since he has another case with Judge Roth.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge. That's
Take care, Ms. Murphy. Thank you. All right, folks, Ms. Tucker, this is a lull in the moment. And so if you would like to either do the offer for Mr. Bibbs or anything else that needs to be done for any other cases, we'll just take a brief recess, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Miss Tucker in courtroom 2. Are we ready? Ms. Tucker, have you conveyed what you need to Mr. Bartel?
I sent it to him by email. I'm not sure if he received it. He hasn't replied yet.
All right. There's a gentleman here with a yellow hat, Aquinas Galaxy. Yes, sir, remove. Yeah. Yes, sir. Which case are you here for? We can't hear you. Pick up your phone and put it in front of you and unmute. Miss Kim, are you ready to proceed?
You can hear me now?
I got confirmation from my client that she's pleading not guilty. Waiver of arraignment. Yeah.
All right. The gentleman at Aquinas Galaxy, which case are you here for?
My son, Aquinas Martez Jones.
Okay. All right. Just want to be sure. Please mute your screen. Mute your
Hello?
screen. We haven't reached that case.
I'm the father.
Mute your screen, please. We haven't reached the case.
Okay.
Thank you. And this was positions 27 and 28. All right.
I haven't seen him.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Kim, I lost the position number. Was it? That was not correct.
It was 7 to 28. Announcement is waiver.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So Miss Chanel Martin, for these two cases that we have pending against you, 24 CR 3446D and the bench warrant 25 FTA 452. With regards to both these cases, your attorney is entering a not guilty plea on your behalf, and the cases will be further notice for trial. Thank you.
This is Patrick, the social worker. Is it possible that we can have Mr. Aquinas Jones' father put his number in the chat so that I can give him a call, please?
Yeah, he's on the 11 a.m. calendar, Judge. He's here about his son.
All right. Mr. Jones, please put your number in the chat, or if courtroom 2 could send him a direct chat message to respond to him.
Okay, Your Honor.
Yeah, that way he'll respond to the chat. Mr. Jones, look at your screen. Somebody is requesting your phone number from the courtroom. Yeah, Miss Grace, you can mute Mr. Jones' phone while he's doing that. All right. And are there any other individuals to be addressed in courtroom 2? All right, courtroom 2, Mr. Jones has sent his phone number to everyone, so you should be able to see it. Yeah. I had a couple of add-ons on today's calendar. Cox, Wilson, and Wilson. Mr. White, Mr. Chate, and Miss Kim, do you all know?
And Cox is also position 12 on the regular calendar. He has 2 cases.
That's Mr. White. Okay. Miss Kim, do you know anything about the add-on cases? And I have John Wilson on the add-on.
John Wilson will be a waiver of arraignment, not guilty.
Okay. That'll be
Thomas will be P.D. White.
Mr. Tom White, are you available? Ms. Kim, if you can perhaps text Mr. White, I was just inquiring if he has an announcement from Cox.
Yes.
Thank you.
But
We're still waiting for Mr. Bibbs, Mr. Bartel to respond to the email. All right, on Bibbs. So while we're waiting, I'm just going to go down the calendar and see what's the status right now. Ms. Kim, are you ready? Ready? Okay, thank you.
We are ready.
Position number 1, Addison, is going to be reset, and this is going to be reset to March 25th. Sorry, is it March 25th or did you want it the 20th?
It was requested by state, so
March 20th will be fine.
Okay. All right. If Mr. Bartel's talking, Mr. Bibb, Ms. Kim, maybe you might want to mute courtroom 2. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Position 2 to 4 is reset to March 25th. That's position 2, 3, and 4. Position 5 and 6, Barber, is going to be reset to March 20th. Position 7, Barge, is a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. Position 6 was a plea. Position 8 was a plea. Position 9 was released and further notice for trial. That's 9 and 10. Position 11 was a non-negotiated plea. Position 12, that's the one we have, Mr. White has to talk with his client. Position 13, Dutton, is going to be referred to MH Court and granted a $1,000 signature bond through the jail with a stay away from McDonald's. Position 14, Terrell Gaskin, was a plea. 15, Green, was a plea. 16, Griffin, was a plea. 17, Kaylee Harper, and that was a release with a further notice for trial. 18, Head, is a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. 19 and 20, Hutchings, was released and further notice for trial. 21, Jordan, is going to be reset to March 20th. King is reset, position 22 is reset to March 20th. Lipsy, positions 23 and 24.
Judge, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Anything after, anything else, can we put on the 25th, please?
Okay. Do you want Hutchings on the, Jordan on the 25th?
Yes.
All right. So Don Jordan will be reset to March 25th. That's position 21. Position 32. I'm sorry, 22, excuse me. I'm also going to reset that to March 25th. And then position 23 and 24 were
they were released, Your Honor. He was.
Then 25 was a plea, 26 was null crossed, 27 and 28 are waivers of arraignment and further notice for trial. 29, Mohammed, was a plea. 30, and that's Perry is reset to March 25th. 39 Robinson is reset to March 20th for conflict to consult with his client. 32
Judge, if we're waiting on the DA transfer for Mr. Perry, is it in the works? Because if it is, we can put this one on for the 20th and not put it on for the 25th if we're gonna get something on the 20th.
Ms.
This
Tucker,
one-
any updates?
It's already been submitted, but they have not responded yet. We can definitely get a response by the 20th.
It's up to you, Casey, if you want to put in the 20th.
We can leave the DA transfer on the 20th.
Okay. 32 was a plea. 33 was a plea. 34 Seagrave. I think Ms. Kim.
He refused again, Your Honor, so I think we have to reset to next week.
All right, it's gonna be reset to March 25th. We are packed for the 20th. Next one is 35 and 36, and that's gonna be a plea. 37 is going to be a plea. 38, Anson Smith, and that was, I think, a plea, wasn't it? Yeah, no, that was a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. Anson Smith, 38 was waiver of arraignment.
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct.
All right, 39, Wayne Smith was a plea. 40, that was 40, 41, Tate, that was and 42. Sorry, 40 and 41 were pleas. 42 was a null pros. 42 is a null pros. Ms. Tucker, since the plea went forward.
Yes, Judge.
43, Terrell, and 44. What are we doing, Ms. Kim?
I believe those are waiver, Your Honor.
Oh, you said need to speak, so is it confirmed?
I spoke, yes.
All right, so it's a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. 45, Thompson.
He refused again hold on please, Your Honor, let me just double check. Yes, he refused to come out of the cell again, so this has to be reset as well.
All right, reset to March 25th. 45, I'm sorry, 46, Wade was released and further notice for trial. So we are waiting on positions 35, 36, who is Chantel, and 37, who is Shelton.
Those benefits turn back on. Those benefits turn on. You know, we can do.
All right, and then on position number 12 and number 12 and add-on number 1, Cox. I'm waiting for Mr. White to give me an update. We don't have him yet in court.
And Judge, Mr. Bartels replied to my plea. He agrees, so whenever he is ready, we can take that plea, or 2 pleas.
Heather, can you put the plea in the chat for me, please?
Oh,
Yes, Your
yes.
Honor, I did receive the email from Ms. Tucker. We're in agreement on that whenever the court's ready to do that.
I'm ready.
Okay, Mr. Gibbs.
Okay, we are addressing 2 cases, 22 CR 0000974J, State versus Mario Bibbs, and 22 CR 5380J, State versus Mario Bibbs. And 974J, right? Mr. Bibbs was charged with disorderly conduct and obstruction of a law enforcement officer from February 22nd, 2022. In the case ending in 5380J, Mr. Bibbs was charged with criminal trespass and loitering and prowling from August 14th, 2022. Mr. Bartel, is it your position now in that your client competency issue is no longer in a matter to be addressed?
That is correct, Your Honor. I've spoken with Mr. Bibbs about his case. I believe he understands what is going on and understands what his options are. The last evaluation I could find for him was in 2023, and he was deemed competent at that time.
But now you believe that he's deemed competent and he's ready to proceed?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. With respect to both these cases, Mr. Bibbs, you have a right to remain silent about the facts of the case. Anything you choose to say during this virtual proceeding, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and Mr. Bartel will be representing you. May I place you under oath for the plea? Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Tucker, what's the recommendation for both cases?
Yes, on position 2, it's going to be time served. That's credit for time served 261 days.
And okay.
On position 3, it's also going to be time served. That's credit for time served 90 days in that case.
Right, 90 days and 262 days, correct?
261.
260.
Yeah, maybe we could double check the math. I mean, I know we all agree he served a lot of days. What I've got is on 974J, I've got 266 days.
Oh, I added 266.
Yeah, that's 158 plus 87 plus 21 on the FTA.
Oh, I may have just added wrong because that was my intention to add all those.
261 days works. He served more than that.
For the failure to appear.
Right, he served on 974J, I've got 158 days, then 87 days, and 21 days on the failure to appear. I'm not good at math.
Judge, I pulled up my calculator. That's 266. I also tried to do the math in my head and I just miscalculated.
That's fine. And what about the 90 days for 974J? Is that good?
Yeah, I've got 111 days, the 21 days for the failure to appear on that.
The failure to appears weren't on that case.
Okay, all right, so we can do 90 days on 380J.
All right. Are there any stayaways or any other conditions, Ms. Tucker?
No.
Okay. And Mr. Bartel, has your client accepted these terms, and do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID for both these cases?
He does, and we do so stipulate.
All right. Mr. Bibb, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
Have you understood and are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you prepared to enter the guilty pleas to both these cases freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, sir.
If you decide to plead guilty to these charges, you won't have a trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not go back to a court of law to face your accusers, challenge evidence brought against you, present your defenses and arguments, and have the state prove the charges beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Ma'am.
How do you plead to criminal trespass and loitering and prowling in case ending in 5380J?
Guilty, ma'am.
Your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 266 days, credit for time served 266 days, balance suspended, and that will be concurrent for count 2. How do you plead to disorderly conduct and obstruction of a law enforcement officer in case ending in 974J?
Guilty.
Repeat.
Guilty.
Your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 90 days, credit for time served 90 days, balance suspended, and that will be concurrent for count 2. On the obstruction of a law enforcement officer, well, there's normally a statutory $300 fine, but we're going to suspend that.
Thank you, Judge. And just to clarify, I think on the DC and obstruction is 266 days. And then the trespass and loitering is 9 days. Just to
Did
clarify.
I have it the other way around?
I believe so, Judge, yes.
Ms. Strong, I'm so sorry, but the 266-day sentence applies to the case 974J, and the 90-day sentence applies to the case 5380J.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it 266 days or 166 days?
266.
266.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Bartel?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Mr.
All right, Mr. Tom White, I'm sorry to ask you to pop in again. I'm just curious about your client, Mr. Cox, from at position 12 on the calendar and the add-on position 1.
That's a waiver. It's already been submitted, Judge.
Okay, so for those matters on add-on position number 1, it's going to be a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial, and position 12 on the SAP calendar is going to be a waiver of arraignment and further notice for trial. That leaves us with Miss Kim's clients, Chantel and Shelton, positions 35, 36, and 37. Miss Kim, any updates of the jail?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any updates for Chantel and Shelton, 35, 36, and 37?
I don't see them, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll wait until maybe they might appear from a different location on the jail. In the meantime, I'll do my 11 a.m. calendar, and that will have to be in a breakout session.
Sure.
There's no one in courtroom 2. I think Mr. Bartel can do it from there. Yes?
That's correct, Your Honor.
There's nobody else here, Your Honor.
Miss Kasha is there and Miss Burgess. Okay, perfect. All right, if we can place, and the rest of the main session will be in recess until we conclude our breakout for the 11 o'clock calendar. Miss Grace, can you place myself, courtroom 2, Kia Burgess, Heather Tucker, and Mr. Jones, Aquinas Galaxy A20 into the breakout, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. Break.
Mr. Aquinas,
Hello.
I prompt you, you should see where it's asking you to go into the breakout session.
Okay. It says tap to speak.
No, not to speak, to go into the breakout session, sir.
Okay.
You have to hit join.
Okay. I'm looking. Hello? Oh man.
Yes, I'm here.
It says lower your hand.
No, it should have said you were requesting to go into the breakout room, sir. Yes. In the V-neck. And you don't have anything in the V-neck and white. All right, thank you. Okay.
Fifth grade.
All right, thank you.
All right. Miss Kim, have we had any updates on Shelton and Chantel?
No, I do not have any update on both of them, Your Honor. Actually, here at Fulton County, Rice Street, there's no other deputies. And I spoke to one of the officers if we were gonna have them, and they said no. And Chantel is at ACDC, and I have not heard from it.
What,
yet.
I'm sorry?
Thanks, guys.
Position 35 to 36, Chantel
Yes.
is at ACDC.
Oh, at ACDC, okay. Oh, that's a pity, the offer, does she have any other holes?
No, I believe not.
And what about Shelton? We took a plea on that, sorry, Latrice Shelton.
Oh, she's also at ACDC, and she does not have any other hold either, so they can both be released.
Didn't we do a plea for Latrice Shelton?
Yes, Your Honor, she was here.
Okay, so the only person left is April Chantel, 35 and 36. Deputy Milton, do you have an update?
So.
I'm sorry?
I will go get her for you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you know how long it'd be? I'm sorry, she's got a plea offer that she could be released. So,
Give me 10 minutes. I'll be right back.
all right, so we saw that 10-minute recess. We can stop the recording, please. Until Miss Deputy Milton returns. Thank you. And Miss Kim, have you spoken to your client, Miss Chantel?
Yes.
Okay, so as soon as she appears, we move forward with the plea and then calendar's concluded.
Yes.
Thank you.
Judge, you want the recording stop or the YouTube?
Both of them, because it's gonna be silent right now until Deputy Milton comes back. Thank you.
Thank you.